Hello everybody, it's Martin from Cape Wonder Europe, and I am joined today with my very good friend Alexei, who has accompanied me through all these journeys that we've had to Propstore. I don't even know what number this is by now. How long have we been coming here? 20 years?
20 years it feels
20
like.
years.
Yes, we were a lot younger.
And every year we say, they're never going to be able to do it again. Propstore, no. I mean, with all the fabulous, incredible items that we've seen here over the years, we always come away thinking, you know what, that was a great time and it was wonderful to see them, but that'll be it. And yet here we are once again with some of the items from the December auction. And they've done it again. How do they do it? How do they do it? Do you know how they do it?
I don't know, but every year they seem to pull stuff out and they go, guess what we've got?
Guess what we've got? Yeah. Just, you know, I mean, how many more sheds, basements,
I can only imagine what
attics
people have got
can be
still left
plundered.
in their private collections and whatnot. Sadly, Andy, who usually joins us, is not here today.
Andy
He's
Hansen,
very much missed.
Yeah, we would loved him to have been here because he just gets as completely emotional and carried away as we are about to. As opposed to some of the footage from folks that you might see, because we're actually here, we're going to go through each of these pieces as best we can today. We're going to tour you around. We're going to show you all the intricacies of them, details that you wouldn't necessarily hear or see, even from the listings themselves. I mean, Propstore have only got so much space they can devote to these things. And the stuff that we know about this with our total accumulation of knowledge of all facts, to really poorly quote a line, we can really go into detail with some of these. And some of the lots this year, I mean, every year the breath is taken away, but some of this, honest, I mean, I just wish that I could project straight through the lens so you could actually be here and see some of this for yourself, because there's no substitute for seeing it close up, is there?
There isn't, mate, there isn't. Should we start with the cape, the flying cape?
We can start with the cape. Let's do that. It's wonderful to see so many costume pieces this year. Again, some things that you just don't think will either stand the test of time in terms of the condition or even be available. I mean, it seems to kind of get less and less every year in terms of what's exhibited. I know there's a costume from Superman 4 currently in the V&A. And Warner still have one that's on show in LA. But apart from that, it's not a good time to, you know, there's distance to travel if you really want to see one of these things close up. So to see separate pieces like the tunic we're going to go around today, and of course the walking cape, they're just very rare sights these days. So we're going to walk you around all of those. So we begin with this glorious example of the cape from Superman 3, correct?
Yep.
Now, this would be the first time that I have beheld an actual walking cape, as opposed to a flying cape. For anybody that doesn't know the difference, the flying capes had slits in the sides that corresponded with slits in, I'm jumping the gun a little here, but just to demonstrate the point, slits in the sides of the tunic. So you would seamlessly have a man flying just by way of two cables attached to the hips. Now, if we can just stretch out the side there, you can see where the slit would be usually, which would be in the region of about there. And it would be like a split that was reinforced with a nice stitch. As you can see on the shield, glorious example, same fabric as used in the bodysuits, and stitched or embroidered, hand stitched, The tells with this are always the details. I mean, look at that big slub there. And
is that the technical term?
It is a technical term, actually, yeah. And how uneven it is. And by Superman 3, we can see that there is the yellow border outside of the shield itself. Now, this isn't... It's kind of been interpreted by anybody that's done action figures and such as a feature that's supposed to be there. It's not really supposed to be there. That's just... It wasn't present for Superman 1 and 2. At least I don't think. Maybe a couple of capes had it. But the black edge, the bleed there was as far as it went. But and certainly in Superman 4's case, all of these had that extra yellow border, but it is not supposed to be a feature. Capes tended to be used again and again. So chances are this was what they call remade, which I think is just another term for restoration. I think if it was, if it was used to the point where it was damaged or such, they would just have it repaired. And as you can see around the front here, the pleats, as you would expect to see them. And as we peel back there, we can see the beginnings of the lining. And right in the front, we have the ties. And as you can see, just stitched on both ends there. And these long strips of fabric made out of softer stuff because they went under the armpit, remember? And anybody who's actually wore one of these capes will know that they're not comfortable at the best of times, but the softer fabric there, when it cuts under the armpit, just would have made life a bit more tolerable for Chris while he was wearing it. Condition-wise, out of all the capes that I've ever seen, it's got to be up there in terms of condition, hasn't it?
It is a stunning example. There's no fade to it at all.
No fade, no damage in terms of water damage or anything like that. There's a couple of marks there, but that's the only soiling that I can see.
Production wear, to be honest.
Yeah, which is what you'd want, really. I mean, if you're going to have any kind of marks at all, then that would be it.
Look and see what scene this was used in.
Well, that's kind of hard to determine. As we'll look at the tunic in a moment, we'll talk a bit more about how identifiers or key identifiers with this kind of thing is a difficult thing to try and establish. But yeah, just look at that. I mean, there's that beautiful yellow polyamide, whatever it's called. We never did really figure the pronunciation, did we? Bridal white spandex, as Yvonne Blake described it. God rest her soul. She is missed. What a legacy.
I know.
To carry on after all this time. Here we are in the year 2025, looking at something that was...
It was well ahead of its time.
Yeah. How does it still manage to be ahead of its time? Given, what we've got now with, the late Superman picture being released this year and an entirely different process used to create these things.
Some of it was down to the material. I mean, when we move on to the tunic, you will see that it's very otherworldly.
Well, let's do just that.
Like a silver shimmer to it, depending on which angle you're facing it and also how the light catches it, which is surreal to actually see in real life.
Absolutely.
This tunic is immaculate. There's no fade to it. It's the same colour all the way around.
We were just saying that of all the examples of the tunic we see, and again, jumping the gun a touch, this is the same fabric. However, this was, the miniature costume here was made in 77 or thereabouts, 78. This came from the new order from Bermans and Nathans for Superman 3 in 1982. So of the Salcam productions, this was the last one. So this would be one of the newest pieces of costume from that era. And just as Alexei says, I have yet to see one that's been preserved so well. Mm-hmm. You can see the difference in terms of the fading and the colour. I mean, as I look at it right now, it's photographing a much darker blue than it appears in real life again.
But it's teal.
It's teal. There's just, steel teal is the term that we've kind of settled on with it, isn't it?
But that's that metallic shimmer as well, isn't it? So
yeah. Now, in terms of identifiers, like we were kind of hinting at, as we know, all of these chest shields were both handmade, and no two were the same. They all have particular quirks. So you see some of the edging around there. You see the shapes here. You see how it flattens out in that bottom corner. You see that top triangle and the border of the shield itself. All of these, when you take time to look at the picture or of stills of Christopher Reeve wearing it back in the day, it's dependent on two things. And the key factors are when it's worn, it becomes distorted. So the shapes don't necessarily tell the truth. And the second thing is exactly what I've pointed out in terms of how it was cut and how it was assembled. And the combination of both of those things gives you that incredible, untouchable kind of, like, because he's wearing different tunics sometimes in the same scene, you never know exactly which one you're looking at.
Especially if he's gone from a flying to a walking.
Exactly. And so going back to the cape for just a moment, if in Superman 3, let's take the shot of the landing at the Lake Gamuga, for example, Chris would fly in on the harness, wearing a bodysuit like that, with a cape with slits in the side, would land wearing that outfit, then they would cut, which Lester would call cut, and then for the following scene he would change position, change costume to a walking costume, where no slits would be present, as we'd come to expect to see. Studs, both shoulders, to secure, correspond with the shoulders of the cape. Zipper with a correct handle, or pull, I should say, that we've come to expect to see. Funnily, now that we've changed the light source, it's looking more like it does in reality in terms of colour. You see the silvery hue we're getting from it? That's much more like it appears in real life. Look at that, that's terrific. So you can see those reinforced slits there for the flying harness to pass through. Let me give you a nice close-up of those press studs in both shoulders. There is not a dewdrop on this, is there? In terms of, it is immaculate. It is the best example I've ever seen.
Yes, absolutely.
And we can say that now because between us, we've seen quite a few. I can't take my eyes off this thing, can you?
No, I mean, it's the star of the show. It's what we've come to see today, for sure. When are we going to get another opportunity like this?
Yeah, true enough. So, just to finish off on the costume aspect of it, let's have a look at this now. We have covered this before. And by all accounts, Stephen Lane, CEO, this was one of his favourite pieces, and he kept this up close and personal for some time, didn't he?
It was in his office for years, wasn't it? I'm very surprised he's letting it go, but it is a beautiful, beautiful piece.
It is quite a personal thing for him, we believe.
And it's about the right size in terms of if you want to put something in your house as well.
This is that's a great point, actually, because if you were to purchase something like this, it's very displayable.
Yeah.
Is it not? So to fill you in what it actually is, it is a flying miniature. I say miniature, it's at least 2.5 feet long. So it's a really good size.
1/3 scale? Approaching?
Yes, I would, about that. And started life as, we think, a foam figure with maybe an armature inside so it could be posed. What we've recently discovered, and what Propstore haven't mentioned, is the fact that there's provenance with this. We've got a still from 78 with Colin Chilvers. Colin Chilvers holding this very same miniature on the set at Pinewood in 78. That's not even mentioned in the Propstore description. So if it was provenance you're looking for, rest assured that this fabulous piece was present on set. Look at that handmade shield stitched on the outside onto the spandex. A tiny resin buckle.
It looks like the S has been painted on yellow fabric.
Yep, I would concur. And the boots, which look like they are
Plaster?
or resin and painted.
Yeah, were these part of the original boots?
Yes, I believe so.
They tend to use a plaster.
Yes, that's
In fact,
true.
if you look at the back, you can see it's quite rough.
Yeah. Started as a foam core model, which degenerated. In fact, we think it rot to the point where it was going to be at the point where nothing could be done to preserve it, and so I think it was disposed of. However, Propstore had the kind of wisdom to at least salvage the costume. So it's been sold not as a flying miniature, but as the costume, a miniature costume. I mean, you can call it what you like, really. It's still terrific, isn't it? The fact that it's still...
It's even got the S on the back.
Even got the shield right there, done in the same way, using that same yellow fabric, and it looks like it's been done with biro.
Possibly. Do
Yeah.
you think Yvonne made this herself?
I don't know. It's Stuart Freeborn or Derek Meddings, I think, would have, because there were a whole
It's even stitched at the bottom.
series of Superman miniatures made. This is one of the largest. Propstore actually sold one of the largest last year. The one with the kit in the housed in the back of the unit to flat the cape. Some of them at this scale were built with that miniaturized clockwork technology to flat the cape also, but I don't think this is one of them.
But even the detail of stitching the bottom of the cape.
Yep, it's even cut and finished in the same way as the actual one. So they well, I don't know, expense was spared, but no detail was spared when it came to this. And the fact that we now know that Colin handled it on set. And I think, and I'm taking a punt here, but I think that this, you know, the shot where at the end of Superman the movie where Mark McClure says, "Ken, stay still for a second."
Yeah.
And it cuts briefly and it's whoosh.
Yep.
I think it's that.
Could very well be.
I think it might be that. Beautiful piece. Perfectly displayed, suspended on a lovely custom stand.
In flight.
In flight. What more do you want from a Superman piece? Moving on to some of the smaller items now. Look at this.
Can we pick it up?
Absolutely.
Now this one's actually got a fair bit of weight to them. Because generally you pick them up and they feel light as a feather, but this actually feels more like glass.
Ah. Acrylic still, would you say?
I would say, yeah, I would say so, absolutely. Just because of the way that's broken there.
Are we saying, or is it being said that this came from the Fortress set, Shepperton, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe about 9 inches tall. Doesn't have a refined end, so I'm presuming this is, the tip has been broken off. We have double-sided tape, which does seem to be a recurring feature with these.
It does, yeah.
Anything that was in the Fortress, I think, was held in place by the double-sided tape. As you can see, it's quite yellowed with age. That's paired with the flying miniature here. I mean, you've got that's an executive desktop from heaven, isn't it?
Wow.
And speaking of heaven, Richard Donner, we wave up to you.
Now this is real history, because Martin, if you zoom in and have a look at the thickness of this tape here, this was used for a lot of shots.
Oh, my
goodness. The thickness of the tape is the dates here, and then the shots where they were, and obviously what they were taking there. But you can see, look, Richard Donner's name's been, someone's name was replaced underneath Richard Donner's, and the cameraman has been replaced as well, many a time. But wow, isn't that an amazing piece of history right there?
That is fascinating. I hadn't even noticed that, you know.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's.
Well, I'll ask you to go around the back and just have a shot of the back, because there's another bit of amazing stuff still stuck onto the rear of it.
That's like 6 layers deep.
It is.
27th of October 1977. We will have a record of what was being shot there, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. But go look at the back.
But if we come round, we've got like a schedule.
Is it signed and dated and timed? I really want to know what scene it was from.
We'll try and find that out.
Exterior at night.
27th of... I wonder if they're in New York at that time. That would be my first thought. I wonder. We do have a couple more treats for you, actually. We're going to go to this little diamond that's been hiding in the back. This is a production folder, and the contents of which are really quite magical, and the preview for this has caused quite a stir, because there's a little bit of history inside there that hitherto unseen. And yes.
Maybe open the front cover.
So inside this innocent and looking folder, we have the script, a draft dated 21st of March 77. The Tom Mankiewicz shooting script, no less.
Mm-hmm.
Fragile, as you'd expect something from this era to be. Kicking off with the cover of the first Superman comic book, just as we've come to know and love. There is more in this folder. We're kind of loath to go through it because the pages are so delicate. But I think the entire shooting script is included. I think there are production notes. I think there are storyboards.
Yep.
I think there are call sheets. Thank you, darling. Call sheets. I think we have a whole bunch of those too. It is a phenomenal piece in itself. However, what's been causing all the fuss? Just so you can see, folks, included in the lot,
Jim would be able to tell us for sure,
with the folder, is this. Yeah, it does look like a Polaroid chart, doesn't it? At least it's thick enough for that. Christopher Reeve on set, taking a breather.
having a kip.
And what we've been able to, I think the first thing that Jim said was, first of all, that's the chair that I have. Jim Bowers, Kate Wonder.
It would look nice next to the chair, Jim.
It really would. It really would. But the first thing that Jim noticed is if you look to the left of the shot, all that tin foil, we think that's the entrance to the set of the San Andreas earthquake, where flooded with lots of lighting and red gels, they recreated underground. So it looks like he's just taken a quick respite between there. But it is the genuine article, folks, and an absolute highlight of this particular lot.
Now, this would be the thing that I would like the most.
Why is that?
Because it is the screen-used newspaper where Lois Lane is doodling on a picture of Superman.
The Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 opens, as we know, with Margot and her marker drawing on a hat, a pair of glasses and a suit onto this picture that she's got in front of her in this copy of the Daily Planet. And this must have been, I don't know, take 46 or something like that. So they must have knocked out a whole bunch of these. And what comes with a lot, which is even more exciting, is this copy of a proof sheet where she's doing just that. It's a great scene. It's a great piece.
It's also been signed by Margot Kidder in the bottom right-hand corner.
And there she is, God bless her. So this is a big lot, isn't it? For fans of Margot, for fans of the Superman 2. That's a rare shot that was in another, I think, Daily Planet cover.
But this is kind of like early CGI, isn't it? In terms of those assembled pictures.
It's definitely early Photoshop, isn't it? Where they literally cut things out and literally cut and pasted to assemble these pictures. That's a rare still of Chris. And here's another one of those copy and paste jobs. Again, condition-wise, flawless. What can I tell you?
It's still white.
It's still white, which is quite rare. I mean, these broadsheets, the Daily Planet broadsheets, they're pretty big. And you've got a double-page spread here.
Yeah. And then behind it will actually be a newspaper of the day.
There's one more thing, folks. As if this isn't breathtaking enough, I guess arguably it would be the main lot in the Superman series, and that is the Kryptonian starship, which you'll notice is absent from here, and because it is so precious, has already been crated up. So here she is. Magnificent, isn't she? Now, I first remember seeing this decades ago. This was a feature in Planet Hollywood in London, and it was in it was in its screen use state, shall we say, its post-screen use state, where some of the pylons are broken off, and obviously it had been just left to literally gather dust. And even so, on display in Planet Hollywood, it was in one of the seating areas I remember very well, and it was in a glass case. And in the early 90s, when Planet Hollywood first opened, such liberties were taken because, just opposite that was the flying miniature that was suspended from the ceiling, and that had no kind of safety around it at all. So you could throw your spaghetti up in the air and you would probably land on right on Superman's face. But yes, just an astonishing piece. I cannot believe, given the fragility of it, that he has survived all of this time, and yet here it is, encased in this crate for shipping out to where Propstore are going to have it on show for the public a few days before the auction begins. Now, this has been subject to restoration, sympathetic restoration and painstaking restoration at that, because I'm told that the transfers, if you look the black marks up and down the pylons, are a letraset or rub down transfer that no longer exist and had to be replicated, as well as the pylons themselves. The center, which I thought somewhat naively at the time was like cotton wool, I don't know what it is actually. It's some kind of fiberglass arrangement around the middle has been replaced. That was so dirty that the thinking is that let's take it away and replace it with something that's more clean. The old stuff is included in the lot in a bag. How good is that? Propstore don't want you going home empty-handed, so that is included with the lot. But we're so lucky to see it. This was, as you can see, this is prepped for to go on the move. So last minute graciously Propstore have allowed us to have a quick peek inside, and it's so wonderful to see it again after all these years. My word. So I hope you've enjoyed everything that you've seen here. Just like I said, an incredible amount of lots going under the gavel in December. Whoever these lucky folks are that are going to make the purchases here, I hope that what we've said today and what we've outlined has been useful for you. As I say, Propstore can't do, I mean, the inventory here and the whole building really is like the biggest, I've said this before, the biggest and best museum for this kind of thing there is. And they can't devote, the time that we would as absolute mega nutcase fans to do that kind of thing. So hopefully this has been useful to go into this kind of detail. But
obviously, thank you very much to Propstore for their hospitality and letting us come back every year that we've ever asked. And on our way out, we'll show you what else is in here, just so you can see what's available in the auction.
Absolutely. But again, thanks for watching. We hope it's been useful, and see you next year. What do you think?
Oh, I hope so.
What do you think? So. 21 years.
They surprise us every year, though, don't they?
I don't know how they do it. And hopefully, if we're back here next year, that's the first thing we're going to say next time that we're here. How do they do it? How do they do it? Thanks for watching.